Y'all better sit down because Stranger Things Season 5 Episode 2 just went ahead and absolutely destroyed us emotionally. Like, we thought we were ready for whatever the Duffer Brothers were going to throw at us. But the vanishing of Holly Wheeler came for our hearts and didn't hold anything back. This episode literally had everything that makes us love and hate this show at the same time: a family trauma, monster fights, and that gut-wrenching feeling that nobody is safe anymore. The episode kicks off with pure nightmare fuel as little Holly Wheeler wakes up screaming about monsters, desperately trying to warn her parents that something terrible is coming. But here's the thing that makes this whole situation even more heartbreaking: her parents think she's just having bad dreams. Karen and Ted Wheeler are doing what any normal parents would do, trying to comfort their daughter and convince her it was all just nightmares. But we know better, don't we? We know that when kids in Hawkins start seeing monsters, it's time to pack up and get the hell out of town. What makes Holly's situation so much more terrifying is this mysterious figure she's been talking to called Mr. Whatsit. At first, everyone thinks he's just another imaginary friend, like kids have, but the way Holly describes him: tall, wearing a vest and pocket watch, he gentle and kind, starts painting a picture that's way too specific to be made up. This dude has been preparing Holly for what's coming, dropping hints about monsters in Hawkins and warning her that danger is approaching. It's like the most twisted version of stranger danger ever. The family drama hits different when you realize that Nancy's been out there fighting supernatural battles while her little sister is being groomed by what we later figure out is probably Vecna himself. Talk about guilt that's going to eat you alive forever. Nancy's whole thing has always been protecting people, and here she is trying to save the world while her own family is being targeted right under her nose. Then we get that absolutely brutal attack scene at the Wheeler house that had us all covering our eyes but unable to look away. When that Demogorgon crashes through their home hunting for Holly, Karen Wheeler becomes the absolute MVP of suburban mom energy. This woman grabs a wine bottle, because what else are you going to use when interdimensional monsters invade your kitchen, and goes full mama bear mode. Watching Karen Wheeler repeatedly smash a wine bottle against a Demogorgon while screaming, "Stay away from my daughter," is simultaneously hilarious and terrifying. This is peak "don't mess with my kids" energy that every mom has somewhere inside them. But here's where it gets really dark. The Demogorgon isn't playing around this time. It slashes Karen's throat before disappearing with Holly into the Upside Down, leaving Nancy to walk into her worst nightmare, finding her mother bleeding out on the kitchen floor and her little sister gone. The image of Nancy trying to comfort her dying mother while processing that Holly has been taken is the kind of trauma that sticks with you. This show really said you thought things were bad before. Hold my ego waffle. The hospital scenes that follow are genuinely some of the most emotionally devastating moments in the entire series. Nancy and Mike desperately trying to get information about their parents while dealing with Holly's disappearance creates this suffocating atmosphere where you can feel their helplessness. When they finally sneak in to see their mother, Karen's damaged throat means she can only communicate by writing and watching her scribble. Holly, with shaking hands while her kids explain that their sister is missing in another dimension, is the kind of heartbreak that makes you question why you watch this show. Meanwhile, the episode drops some major revelations about Will's connection to the Upside Down that change everything we thought we knew. His visions are getting more intense, and now he can literally see through the eyes of Vecna's creatures and even Vecna himself. When Will realizes he was seeing through Holly's perspective during her encounters with Mr. Whatsit, it becomes terrifyingly clear that he was experiencing Vecna stalking his next victim in real time. The playground scene where we see Vecna disguised as this kindly Mr. Whatsit promising to save Holly and all her friends is psychological manipulation at its most disturbing. Lucas drops the bombshell that really drives home how calculated this whole thing is. Holly was taken on November 3rd, just 3 days before the anniversary of Will's disappearance on November 6th. As Lucas puts it with that trademark bluntness, he doesn't believe in coincidences anymore. And frankly, neither should we. This timing feels deliberate, like Vecna's been planning this particular psychological torture for years, just waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The subplot with Robin and Will going rogue to investigate adds another layer of tension that had us biting our nails. Their journey to the playground where Will had his vision leads to the discovery of Holly's entrance point into the Upside Down, this massive, grotesque hole in reality that the Demogorgon used to transport her to Vecna's domain. When 11 confirms that Holly was literally pulled through the wall between dimensions, it's one of those images that's going to haunt our nightmares for weeks. In the Upside Down, 11 and Hopper's reunion gives us some emotional moments that we desperately needed after all the trauma. Their father-daughter relationship continues to evolve as they track the wounded Demogorgon through this hellscape, hoping it'll lead them to Holly. We Hopper sharing stories about his military service, and his daughter Sarah adds weight to his protective instincts toward 11. When he talks about brave people dying and admits he doesn't want to lose her, You can feel the weight of his past losses driving his desperate need to keep his found family safe. The episode also gives us some interesting relationship drama that actually serves the story instead of feeling like filler. Jonathan and Steve's ongoing tension over Nancy takes on new meaning when Nancy's family is literally being torn apart. Steve's accusations about Jonathan being a paranoid pothead weirdo and Jonathan calling Steve a selfish chauvinistic meathead feel especially brutal when there are actual life or death situations happening. Their van breaking down becomes symbolic of how personal conflicts interfere with helping when it really matters. Dustin's subplot dealing with bullies over his Eddie Munson Hellfire shirt provides some emotional grounding that reminds us these are still teenagers processing trauma. His refusal to stop honoring Eddie's memory, even when it results in getting beaten up, shows how the events of last season continue shaping these characters in profound ways. Steve's frustration with Dustin missing the mission because of his stubborn loyalty creates another layer of guilt that weighs on everyone. But the most haunting part of the episode is seeing Holly in Vecna's mind palace, this sunny, idealized version of the Creel house that feels wrong in all the right ways. It's too perfect, too safe like a predator's carefully constructed trap. When Vecna promises Holly he'll save all her friends, every last one of them, the sinister undertones make it clear his definition of saving doesn't match anyone else's. Holly's innocent questions about when her family will join her create this sick irony where she thinks she's being rescued when she's actually been kidnapped by the monster her friends have been fighting. The technical work in this episode deserves recognition too. The practical effects during the Demogorgon attack feel visceral and real in ways that purely digital monsters never could. The sound design, those wet slashing sounds, Karen's grunts of effort, the creature's otherworldly shrieks creates an audio landscape that's genuinely disturbing. And that Mr. Sandman song playing over Holly's scenes in the Mind Palace adds this creepy lullaby quality that makes everything feel even more unsettling. What makes this episode so effective is how it strips away any sense of safety our characters might have felt. The Wheeler house was supposed to be neutral territory, normal suburban space where supernatural chaos couldn't reach. By violating that sanctuary and traumatizing the Wheeler parents so brutally, the episode establishes that nowhere is safe and no one is off limits in this final season. The episode also sets up emotional powder kegs that are definitely going to explode in future episodes. Nancy's guilt over not being home to protect her family will probably drive her to take increasingly dangerous risks. Mike's helplessness watching his parents fight for their lives while his sister remains missing creates perfect conditions for character-breaking desperation. And Holly's innocence being weaponized against her own family adds psychological warfare that feels genuinely evil. Looking ahead, the revelation that Mr. Whatsit is apparently Vecna in disguise opens up terrifying questions about how long he's been manipulating Holly and what his ultimate plan might be. The fact that he's been preparing her for this moment, warning her about monsters while positioning himself as her protector, suggests psychological manipulation that goes way beyond anything we've seen before. The vanishing of Holly Wheeler proves that Stranger Things' final season isn't holding anything back. By putting the Wheeler family through absolute hell and forcing our heroes to confront the reality that they can't protect everyone, the episode raises stakes to genuinely uncomfortable levels. When your comfort watch show starts delivering real trauma to characters you've grown to love, you know the endgame is going to be absolutely brutal in the best possible way.